Hi everyone, let's talk about glazing our ceramics. Glazing your ceramics means painting your ceramics so that it gets this nice shiny coat. You might notice that when your clay comes out of the clay oven, it looks like this. It's kind of rough and it's white. This is unglazed. So we're gonna be glazing our ceramics to create this shiny coating so that it's waterproof and you can use it. So what you're gonna do first is you need to grab your ceramic piece from the clay carts, and you're gonna grab the clay glaze. Now you also might want to grab this little glaze guide, and this shows you what the colors actually look like when they come out of the clay oven. Because when you glaze a piece of art, you might notice that the colors in the paint tray look kind of light, but when they go into the clay oven, they will come out much darker. For example, this blue is called mosaic blue. Right here, it looks a little bit different from this blue. It will turn a little bit darker. So if you'd like to see what the glaze looks like when it's completely finished, use this glaze guide. Okay, when you're glazing your clay, there's a couple rules. First rule is that you need to put many coats, that means many layers of paint, onto your clay. If you only put one thin layer, then you'll notice that it's gonna come out a little bit patchy and not super shiny like this. So you can choose whatever color you like, get a couple different brushes of different sizes, and you can paint whatever design you want. So if I wanna use this red, I'm just gonna dip the tip of my brush. I'm not gonna dunk my brush, just the tippy toes, and then I'm gonna start painting that glaze in. You might notice that the glaze dries very fast. It's because the dry clay is soaking up the glaze very quickly, so it will dry pretty fast. Now you can see I've got one nice coat of red on that. I wanna let it dry, and then I'm gonna come back and do another coat. So if I wanna change colors, I'm gonna completely wash my brush, get all that red off, dry it on my sponge. I should have a sponge here to dry my brush off. Get it nice and clean. Then I can switch colors. We don't want any of these colors to mix. Glaze is very expensive. So then I'll choose blue, and I can paint the outside blue. And again, I want some nice thick layers on this. So I'm gonna paint all the way around on the outside blue. And then when it's dry, I will do a second coat of blue. Now, another rule about glaze is that you should never glaze the bottom of your ceramic piece, and here's why. When it goes into the clay oven, it has to go onto a shelf like this. If you glaze the bottom, basically what's gonna happen is your clay piece is gonna stick to the clay shelf and it's gonna never come off. It's gonna actually ruin the clay shelf. So you never glaze the bottom. If you accidentally glaze the bottom and you forgot, just take a sponge and dip it in your water and clean the bottom off. Oops, my sponge is a little bit dirty, so I'll have to clean my sponge off, but just the glaze will wash off pretty easily. Just take a sponge and wash it off. Okay, my red layer is pretty dry, so I'm actually gonna go back, dip my brush, and do a second coat. And then it might be good to actually do a third coat. So I always say 2 to 3 coats of glaze, nice thick glaze. Wash my brush, and then I can even do another color on this spot right here. Again, whatever design you want to do is totally up to you. You can even layer glaze as well. Like if I wanted to put a design on top of the blue, I could finish painting my second and third layer of blue. And when that's dry, I could actually put designs using other glaze colors onto the blue if I like patterns or designs. Okay, so when you're done glazing your piece, you've put 3 layers on your piece. Check in with me and I will put it on the clay cart ready to go to the kiln.